Hey, how's it going? I hope you're doing good. So I'm here, and I went to Kohls today, and I was just doing some other shopping at Kohls, and I saw that they had eggnog taffy. So I was like, oh, why don't I get eggnog taffy? And then I noticed that it's this company called TaffyTown, and they're in West Jordan, Utah. And this summer, I had somehow I bought a bag of taffy. There's a grocery store I go to, and stuff is usually priced more than other grocery stores, basically. And so, but there was a bag of taffy there that was sour watermelon, and it was and I looked it up because I thought it tasted so good, and it was by this company, TaffyTown. And so I looked it up. I went to their website, and you can buy like a 5-pound bag of taffy. And I thought about buying a 5-pound bag of taffy, but the sour watermelon was in smaller batches, I think. And I just didn't feel like buying a 5-pound bag of taffy. I'd already bought some candy, like from the bins, the loose bins. You can use the scoops and stuff to get candy. And I just said I won't be able to finish it. It'll take way too long to finish it. But I thought it was awesome. It was really good. Sour watermelon was really good. So and I went to it got me to go to the website. It was like one of those days where you're kind of sitting there like, oh, I've been snacking on this taffy for like part of the summer. And I just sort of happened to get it at the grocery store. Haven't heard of it. It had kind of interesting like letters on it, writing and stuff. So I was like, why don't I order some if I can't remember what store I bought it or when they had it or whatever. If it was like they just happened to have it for the season or something. So that's how I found out about the name of the company, TaffyTown, because I went to their website. And then I was in Kohls today, and they had eggnog taffy. And I actually really like at the grocery store in the holiday season when they sell the eggnog in cartons, like for milk. Like it's basically a sort of a sweet milk product. And with the flavoring, I don't know if it's the nutmeg flavoring or whatever the eggnog flavoring, but I haven't actually bought it in many years now. I mean, at least 5, maybe 6 years or 7 years, maybe, since I bought it. I don't know. It was one of those things that like, anybody that was with me would always say, oh, don't buy that, don't buy that. So I just sort of stopped buying it. I never bought it. But for a couple of years I bought it, and I haven't bought it since. So I was like, oh yeah, I just like sort of that eggnog flavor. I don't actually like it with the alcohol in it. I like it without the alcohol. And so at the grocery store they'll sell the milk version. And I haven't seen a lot of candy that is eggnog. And there was in Washington, in Kirkland, where I grew up in Washington, Bellevue area, Medina. There's a place called Burgermaster, and they sell a Tom and Jerry shake that is close to an eggnog. I don't know if it's actually the same eggnog or not, but you can also get when they make the milkshake. When I used to go there a long time ago, and I haven't been back in a while, but they would put a little sprinkle of nutmeg on the top of the milkshake, and so that always it was called Tom and Jerry, but it was always closely resembling eggnog. So anyway, so I was at Kohls. And the taffy is, probably, back when I was a kid and I would kind of go to the coast of California on a vacation or something, we'd buy, sort of a bag of saltwater taffy, and it was pretty inexpensive. And they used to have ones where they had some fruit flavors, and sometimes there'd be a little nut in the center of them. And, it was just kind of a thing that was just kind of, I don't know if local companies made it or where they made it or whatnot, but it wasn't like anything you would find in the grocery stores. But it was always kind of something fun to have in the summer or wherever you got it. Somehow you'd always end up with a bag of taffy or something. So So anyways, I'm going to try this, and I'm going to see how it is. I bet it's going to be really good because the sour watermelon from this summer was really good too. So I decided to get this. This was $9.99 for 18 ounces. So that's a pound and a half, or is it 18 ounces? So it's a pound and 2 ounces. It's not a pound and a half. Pound and a half would be 24 ounces. So I thought it was a pound and a half when I bought it, but it's 18 ounces. And I'm going to try this. Let's see. I might need to get a pair of scissors or something to open this. But let's see. Yeah. Okay. So this company has been around since 1916. I didn't realize that. Gourmet saltwater taffy since 1916. I'm probably since I've never heard of them. But so anyway, I'm gonna try this here. This is an eggnog piece of eggnog taffy. Oh. It's good. The flavor. I'm gonna sit here for a minute. That's good. It starts off with a little tinge of sourness, but then you get the sweet sort of milk flavor, and then there's cinnamon or nutmeg or cinnamon. Let me see what that is. Cinnamon or nutmeg. It must be nutmeg that like the what I was talking about, the milkshake that had the nutmeg on top of it. I get that flavor, and then the flavor just lasts throughout the whole piece. Just full eggnog. So that's really good. Yeah, that's really good. I don't know. I'm gonna snack on these. Sometimes what I've found, and I'm having this happen now, and it used to happen with some of the Starburst candies, is that when I get kind of a taffy candy flavor, I eat the candy, it tastes great, I really enjoy it, the piece of candy, and then my mouth just waters, like salivates after. And I can't stop salivating for, I don't know, 5 or 10 minutes or a few minutes or something. So I'll drink a little water or something. And I don't know what the cause of that is. It's one of the reasons why I had to stop eating Starburst a while back, because as a kid, like, I would have Halloween candy. I'd eat like Snickers or Kit Kat or Three Musketeers or Baby Ruth or something. And then I'd be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna have a Starburst. And I don't remember what flavor it was, but I'd eat the Starburst. And then as soon as I was done eating the Starburst, tasted really good, my mouth would keep watering, like really, like strong watering. Like I would either have to spit or drink water or something, because so much saliva was forming from eating the Starburst. And so today, I don't eat as much candy, but I kind of started in the past couple of years, like, oh, I'll have a snack here, a little piece of candy or something. And so I did just get that now with that eggnog taffy, and I don't know. I don't remember getting that with the. I don't remember getting that with the sour watermelon, but it definitely causes me to slow down a little bit because um, I can't really enjoy myself. It's like it like interrupts my like I'm interrupted for a minute with it because I just can't. I can't do anything. It's like if you have to sneeze or you have to blow your nose, something makes like spicy foods sometimes make your nose run, and you got to blow your nose after eating nachos or something. Um, but that right there made me salivate really, really a lot after eating the candy. So I'll have to slow down on these. Like if I was driving and I was like, oh, let me just have a little like piece of candy, instead of like stopping to get food or something, or just as a little, flavor thing, it would be disruptive. So I have never figured out what it is or what causes that, if it's an ingredient or if it's just the taste of candy. Um, but I don't really remember that happening with the sour watermelon. So sometimes when I have, like I haven't had Starburst in quite a while because of it too. Um, I've noticed that happens sometimes with taffy or candy or something. So, so I'm just gonna kind of hold off on that. I don't know why. I don't know why that happens. I don't know if there's anybody out there that knows why chewy candy sometimes causes, like after you eat one piece or something, causes a lot of salivation right after. If it's an ingredient or something added. I know that with this, there's no added ingredients in this. There's corn syrup, sugar, coconut oil, sea salt, egg whites, evaporated milk, natural and artificial flavor, artificial color, including FD and C yellow number 5. So, you know, I don't know. I guess I could look up the ingredients of Starburst, but I thought Starburst had like a wax or something in it. Let me just look this up real quick. See. Okay, so here we go. So Starburst is totally different. So Starburst has sugar, corn syrup, hydrogenated palm kernel oil, less than 2% of citric acid, tapioca dextrin, gelatin, apple juice from concentrate, modified cornstarch, natural and artificial flavors, colors, red 40, yellow 5, yellow 6, and blue 1. The only thing I can see that's the same as corn syrup, sugar, and FD and C. I don't know what FD and C is, but yellow number 5. So they both have yellow number 5, natural and artificial. So it could be the natural and artificial flavor. I don't know what that is. The Starburst candy does not have salt. It looks like it doesn't have salt. Oh, Starburst also contains ascorbic acid, vitamin C. And they have gelatin in them. So it's not gelatin. It could be sugar, corn syrup, or natural and artificial flavor, or yellow number 5. And I don't know what FD and C is. But I mean, honestly, I made a post about this in the summer where some of these newer candies, they're like lower sugar or whatever. They have like a huge list of ingredients. And I think candy that has more of a simple list of ingredients like this, right? There's not that many ingredients in it. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I don't know how many natural and artificial flavors there are, but this is really good and I really like it. The only problem I have is that it causes me to salivate after eating it, and so I have to kind of pause on that. But Starburst also does that. So I've never been able to figure it out. And I haven't really read a lot about it or figured out anything about it. So, the only other thing was when, like I did some live video a few years ago, and I would eat a Snicker bar, like a Snickers with almonds or a Snickers. and I would choke on it, or I would all of a sudden, like, not be able to get enough air. I'd be either kind of a choking, not getting enough air or something. And so once in a while that happens with some of the chocolate bars, where I'll take a bite of it or something, and all of a sudden I feel like I'm choking or something. I don't know if it's like, I'm gonna choke, or it's an air thing or something. But a lot of times, for a while, I was choking a lot on the food, and I also had that problem with biting my cheek and my tongue, and that has sort of gone away. I don't really bite I still bite my cheek and my tongue sometimes, but not nearly as much as it used to be, and the choking has gone down. But sometimes when I eat chocolate, and I don't know what's in the chocolate, it's like I'm gonna choke, and I'm sort of like breathing for air, and that's part of the reason why I like white chocolate. White chocolate I really like, and I don't seem to have that problem with it. But I never know. I haven't really found any consistency across it. It's not like with this chocolate bar or that chocolate bar, and so I haven't really figured out. I haven't figured out the chocolate causing kind of a choking sensation or a breathing sensation, and the candy causing a lot of salivation right after eating it. So, but I mean, other than that, a candy bar with nuts, caramel, nougat, and chocolate is kind of a good way to curb hunger or a little bit for a while, if you're not going to have a meal or something like that, and then sometimes you can have a little piece of chocolate or something. But if that breathing or the choking happens with it, that's really bad. And if the salivating happens with the candy, that's also bad. So I didn't mean to turn this whole thing from enjoying a piece of eggnog taffy into emergency right after eating it. But I have noticed that across all those things. And so that's probably why I've slowed down quite a bit in just kind of like being like sort of like, like when I was a kid, I'd try all these candy bars and candies and everything, and they all had really good flavors and everything. Is that reason, between the two, the chocolate and sort of the chewy candy. So anyhow, I may try one more piece just to see if I can get that response again. And I don't think I'm actually going to have that response again, but I'm going to see if it happens again, and then I can kind of see what happens. I'm not really salivating right now. I'm just kind of and so here's the piece of candy. I'm going to try it again. It's got a lot of flavor. It's slow to start. It's got a really good full flavor to it. It's like you're sipping eggnog or something. It's just it's really good. I think I'm starting to salivate though. The flavor shoots way up. Let me see. I have a little of the flavor profile afterwards. A little bit of salivation afterwards. There's a little bit there, but not really high or extreme, but a little bit there. That's odd. Usually it's like fully on where I can't talk, or I think it's starting though. I don't know. feels a little bit more subdued than it used to be. But I definitely need to have a sip of water. I'm still salivating from the candy. But it's not a full amount like it was with the first piece, or that I've had with Starburst. So, really good candy. Really enjoy it, but you know that's salivating right after. Much more subdued on the second piece of candy than it was on the first. So I haven't really been able to identify it. I do always remember it though being really difficult. It's also comparable sometimes when you get a bad cold or flu. And I remember when I was a boy, I got mono. And I had mono, and mono caused a lot of the saliva to sort of form and everything. And so so mono was a thing where you would have a lot of saliva forming. But with Starburst, I particularly would have it afterwards. So I don't know what ingredient that is, but it's a little bit better. It's more subdued. The Eggnog Taffy was great. I really liked it. I just have to slow it down because if I get salivating after eating it, it becomes disruptive. So same with a chocolate. If you have trouble breathing or you choke on chocolate or something, you know, I don't know what the deal is with that, but anyhow, I didn't want to change the subject or anything. I hope you're doing good, and I'll talk to you later. All right, bye-bye.